Yeah, that summer sizzle is here. A heat wave poised to heat up Southern California.
Some dangerous heat has firefighters and residents on alert.
We do have team coverage on this heat wave with Ed Lascos out there in the sweltering valley. But we begin with Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger. Adam?
All right, well, earlier today was warm, that's for sure, but we expect warmth during August, but it's what's coming the next several days that's going to be more what we would call a major heat wave. So we're talking about tomorrow through Saturday, but especially Thursday through Friday. Those will be the hottest days. So during this stretch, there's going to be dangerous heat. There could be heat-related illnesses, possible record highs, and yes, the increased fire risk out of all this as well. The temperature breakdown for tomorrow for L.A., at least around the downtown area, you see the temperatures topping out pretty close to 90 degrees. It did get up to 89 in downtown L.A. today. So similar or maybe slightly warmer tomorrow than what we saw today. Here it is in map view. You can see a lot of 100s in the places you would expect, like the deserts. And then as we bring this in a little bit closer, well, up through Santa Clarita, around 100 degrees. The San Fernando Valley, we've got temperatures there that are probably going to exceed 100 in some spots. And also into the Inland Empire, we expect temperatures to reach or exceed 100 degrees. Between those two regions I mentioned, there's going to be a lot of 90s here across the San Gabriel Valley. 90 degrees maybe around L.A., Inland Orange County, upper 80s to near 90 as well. And then naturally, as you go closer to the coast, it's going to be a little bit cooler, but still warm for the beaches with highs there in the upper 70s. Now, as I switch you over to Thursday, you can see how we've got temperatures going up even more. This is when it gets more dangerous. Look at those high numbers there in the San Fernando Valley. 107 around Woodland Hills. We could see some 105 plus readings in the Inland Empire as well. Well into the 90s for L.A. and 90s stretching down through Orange County, and probably some 80-degree highs or even low 80s along the beaches. Then, on top of this, we have a red flag warning posted for areas north of L.A., north of the San Fernando Valley, into the San Gabriel Mountains here, and that stretches all the way back westward towards around San Luis Obispo as we are looking at the potential for explosive fire behavior. Less because of what the winds are doing, but more about how the atmosphere is set up. A little bit of a scientific breakdown on this one. We're going to explain that in more detail coming up later on. And another thing we have to mention also, a few thunderstorms in some parts of our Southern California area at the end of the week. Dry lightning may also spark some fires. Lots to get to. We'll break it down in more detail later on. But for now, back to you.
A mixed bag. All right, Adam, thanks so much. As you just heard from Adam, the weather is heating up, but there's a warning if you want to head to the beaches. Let's go live to Fox 11's Ed Lascos. He's in the San Fernando Valley reporting from Encino tonight. Ed?
And Marla, it really comes down to beating the heat in many ways as we're bracing for this dangerous heat that's moving in. Here in the San Fernando Valley, oh, they're used to heat. It's summertime after all, but not like this. Think about it. It's our first major heat wave of the summer. Then you have these beach warnings, and that means for outdoor activities like that, well, it goes down when that sun goes down. Watch. Play ball, playing under the lights here. It's sure much better than having to deal with this. The blistering sun. Even here at the beach, it's hot, and it's gonna get a lot hotter.
Yeah, when it gets hot, it's pretty uncomfortable. You're sweating everywhere, all the crevices of your body. Right. So what better way to cool off than coming out here to the water, you know, taking your shoes off and just hanging out.
But hanging out here, Santa Monica and a few other beaches has lifeguards on watch, all due to high levels of bacteria in the ocean water. The LA County Department of Public Health warning you to avoid the water 100 yards on both sides of the pier, and that same 100-yard warning for Ramirez Creek at Paradise Cove and the Maria Canyon storm drain, and it's the entire swimming area at Mother's Beach in Marina del Rey. Off limits, one warning to another.
Drink a lot of water, stay mostly inside, stay in air-cooled conditioning places, and avoid going out maybe, especially like in the heat.
From the coast to the valley, where they're bracing for several days of intense heat, triple-digit heat.
Yeah, that's really hot because it's been like 80 degrees, but the weather's so up and down. It's like one week is 100 and the next week it's like fresh. Last night it was cold.
Well,
yeah.
Get ready for heat.
Yeah. I'm going to enjoy it though. I love the heat.
Especially if you know just how to beat the heat. Walking your dog much later, early evening as the sun goes down, or just finding lots of shade.
Probably stay indoors, yeah.
And keep
with
the AC cranking?
On, the fan, yeah, just to try to beat the waves.
That has all eyes on the Southland's power grid. An intense heat wave brings an intense demand for electricity, forcing some not to take any chances. They know there's no rolling blackouts here at the beach.
I'm going to jump in and do a couple laps, see how far out I can swim, and cool down.
Just to beat the heat.
Yeah, I got a big body, so I got to keep it cool.
Now live, Johnny has the right idea, huh? In any event, though, a lot of folks here are already talking about power concerns, those dreaded flex alerts, saying they're preparing for it. Usually, though, as you recall, usually it's like the second or third day of a continuous heat wave that we have those flex alerts and the urging to conserve power. Remember, though, the peak hours for conservation to cut down on power runs from 4 in the afternoon till 9 at night. We'll take it a day at a time. For now, we're live here in the Valley. Back to the west side we go.
Good info right there, Ed. Thank you. New tonight, LA Mayor Karen Bass says the release of the after-action report on the Palisades fire is delayed at the request of the U.S. Attorney's Office. The mayor says they've been asked to postpone the release of the report while the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms continues its investigation into what sparked the fire back on January 7th. There's no expected date as to when the report will be released. We're about to head into our worst heat wave yet this year, raising the risk for fire in and around Los Angeles.
Fox 11's Nick Garcia reports on the city's preparations.
This is a dangerous heat event. This recurrence rate of this particular magnitude is once every 2 to 4 years or so.
The hot weather has people seeking shade and cutting their time outdoors short.
We literally were going on our walk and we're like, okay, this is way too hot.
Also top of mind for these friends. You concerned about fire risk with this increased heat?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that earlier this morning when I first got outside, but I mean, hopefully it's not so dry, so hopefully, you know, things will be good and there won't be any more fires like what we had.
It's top of mind for city officials too, especially given how the weather contributed to the Palisades and Eaton fires earlier this year.
I want to assure Angelenos that we are prepared.
Governor Newsom has ordered additional resources, including ground and air crews, to be pre-positioned throughout the weekend in Los Angeles County, ready to tackle any fire that sparks. That's in addition to the increased presence already in LA.
LAFD will be augmenting and pre-deploying critical firefighting services throughout the city in high hazard areas.
The greatest risk areas will be north of the city in the San Fernando Valley.
It's going to be important that folks in those areas, say around the San Gabriel Mountains, that they're very ready to take evacuation orders seriously.
Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
All right, that brings us to our chief meteorologist, Adam Kruger. You've got your work cut out for you this week.
Yeah, and not just because of the heat. I mean, there's the fire situation, and then I mentioned earlier in the tease, but thunderstorms are going to be something that will probably form, I'd say, over our eastern areas like Big Bear, Palm Springs, that kind of general area. The monsoonal storms we sometimes get in the summertime.
And that could lead to fires.
Yeah, I mean, lightning away from the rain can be another thing that would spark some fires as well. So
we're serious about this heat, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be dangerous. It's going to be really hot in some spots. You know, the valleys for sure. We'll see those temperatures well into the 100s. So let's jump into it again. I've got a lot to cover here in the next 3 minutes or so. We'll start, though, with kind of a nice scene as we look from West LA towards Santa Monica, towards the coast of the sunset, the time lapse of that sunset today. It was a warm one, but it is going to get hotter over the next couple of days. So on our weather headlines, we have what we're calling a major heat wave on the way. Also, extreme fire behavior, that's a quote from the National Weather Service, is possible. And like I said, some storms in the mountains and deserts will be possible as well. We've got this strong area of high pressure bringing heat. It's expanding westward towards us, so the hottest temperatures are yet to come. And you can see the wide stretching heat alerts not only around a lot of California, but towards Las Vegas, Phoenix. We have got those extreme heat warnings in place. Locally, 2 different colors on the map. Heat advisory, and then a little more severe than that is an extreme heat warning. And this just has to do with how high above average temperatures will be. So a little more above average here than here, but still it's hot everywhere, with the exception being the coast, although it will be warmer than average along the coast as well. And then all these areas in this pink color, we've got a red flag warning, also known as a fire weather warning. That starts tomorrow, lasts through Saturday. Not because of necessarily strong winds, though. We don't have any wind advisories in effect, and I'm going to show you here the forecast gust tomorrow. Most locations, gusts are between 10 and 20, maybe a little above 20 in some parts of the mountains. So why this potential explosive fire behavior? It has more to do with what's going on vertically in the atmosphere. And of course, we also have very hot weather, very dry weather, but an unstable air mass, which will allow for vertical plume growth. And when that happens, you can have explosive fire behavior, because when you have vertical plume growth of fire, The air's rising really quickly, and it draws in air all around it, kind of like strong inflow winds in the immediate vicinity of a fire. So that makes unpredictable and erratic winds. So again, the ambient winds broadly across the area not going to be that strong, but if a fire starts, it could create its own weather pattern, could create some strong unpredictable winds in the vicinity of it. Also, look at this, out towards Big Bear and maybe near Palm Springs. Those are going to be some of the hot spots, I'd say, for potential rain. Starting Friday and into this weekend, we could see some thunderstorms out in that direction. And yes, dry lightning may also spark some fires. Okay, so as far as just the temperatures, though, we'll look at our 7-day forecast here. This is for downtown LA and inland Orange County, around 90 tomorrow. Thursday, Friday will be the hottest days. Saturday and Sunday, though, still pretty hot, and then back down to 80s as we go into next week. For the coast, I think we're going to be heading up towards 80 this weekend, maybe some low 80s on some of the beaches, so really warm there. Back to 70s next week. For the valleys in the Inland Empire, this is where it's really dangerously hot. And the temperatures you're looking at here will be more so for the San Fernando Valley. The IE maybe like 1 or 2 degrees lower than this. But you know those typical hot spots, let's say Woodland Hills or the western San Fernando Valley, could be up or over 105 over these next few days here coming up. 90s will return next week, though. For the mountains, we've got temperatures heading into the 80s for several days, some 70s coming after the weekend. Then we go to the deserts. You know it's going to be hot there when we're talking about a heat wave. So the high desert like Palmdale, Lancaster, Antelope Valley, temperatures in the 100s through Sunday. And the hottest temperatures will be in the low desert, 112, 113 through Friday, and then around 110 for the weekend. Back to you.